looming United Auto Workers strike puts President Biden in the middle between his two core constituencies. Union workers and climate change progressives sit at odds of the electric vehicle debate. They sit at odds of almost everything. And Union Joe does not know who to back. The union will strike all three major American auto workers on September 14th. They want 40% pay raises, cost of living adjustments, reinstated end-tier wage systems, and a 32-hour work week. But President Biden isn't calling the heads of the big three automakers to demand action that we know of. He isn't talking about how a strike would shut down hundreds of suppliers and put hundreds of thousands of their workers here in the United States out of a job. He's essentially saying, don't talk about this, never mind, not a big deal, because he believes it won't happen. The strike not happening is news to the United Auto Workers president, Shawn Fain, who, hard to imagine this, the UAW president today distanced himself from President Biden.
By that reaction, he must know something we don't know, but maybe the company's planning on walking in and giving us our demands on the night before. I don't know, but he's on the inside on something I don't know about.
All right. According to Shawn Fain, our intent is not to strike or to attain a fair agreement. That's been our intent from day one. Mr. Biden's intent may not be for this to happen, but his policies say something else. The administration's singular focus on climate and thus electric vehicles puts him at odds with the union. China owns EV manufacturing and particularly the battery market. You can't make EVs without China. Richard Goodstein joins us, Democratic strategist, former advisor to Bill and Hillary Clinton. All right, so who is he going to pick? Is it the union workers or the climate change folks?
Fact is, both have endorsed him, both are strongly behind him, and there's a good reason for that. As you know, Leland, under Biden's presidency, in just 2.5 years, 7 times more jobs have been created than the last 3 Republican presidents combined.
Oh, come on. The economy's reopening from COVID.
No. A lot of those jobs were not forecast before COVID. Okay? And look, he's the pro-labor president for a reason. He's the one who's cheering on the unionization at Amazon. He's just proposed a rule to bring overtime to over 3.5 million more workers. And the environmentalists have endorsed him as well. The Natural Resource Defense Council, League of Women Voters, Bernie Sanders,
Richard,
they're all for him.
Richard, it's very clear that there's a big distance right now between the UAW and Union Joe. We heard it in the soundbite. You can't deny that.
Yes, look, the fact of the matter is, remember, we were supposed to have a rail strike at the end of 2022, and we didn't because Biden played it just right. We were supposed to have a UPS strike recently. We didn't. That was averted. And I like to think behind the scenes, Biden's doing something now that will avert this. Might we have one? Of course. And do the UAW like him saying it's unlikely? Of course that, because it tends to undercut their negotiating position.
Okay, fair enough. And look, credit where credit's due. And I was skeptical when Secretary Buttigieg said he didn't think there was going to be a rail strike, and there wasn't. Fine, fair enough. Although it required Congress having their own input there. ... Union workers have been leaving the Democratic Party. You can't deny that. It's why Donald Trump won in 2016 and union workers abandoned Hillary Clinton. We've got the data. Donald Trump just put this post. Shawn Fain, the respected president of the United Auto Workers, can't even think about allowing all electric cars. They will be made in China. The auto industry in America will cease to exist. There's already a giant e-glut. They don't go far or long. They're very expensive, and the consumer must be given a choice. Vote for Trump, and I will stop this madness immediately. Mexico and Canada love Biden's idiotic policy. Save Michigan and the other auto states. Save the American consumer. To be fair, and I know how you feel about Donald Trump, where's he wrong in that statement?
What Donald Trump said is something he might have said back in the 1970s when the auto companies resisted emission standards. They fought it tooth and nail, and what happened? They succeeded to a certain extent till we had the Clean Air Act. But in the meantime, the Japanese auto companies and the European auto companies cleaned their clock. The percentage of sales of U.S.-made cars dropped dramatically, and they'll never be able to make it up. And everybody knows that if you go worldwide, electric vehicles are the way of the future. And I think the UAW knows that. Certainly the auto companies know that. Of course, they're trying to drag that out.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.